Steer clear of Adrian Hill. This dodgy builder takes your cash and leaves you high and dry.
He looks you in the eye, he speaks, and he lies.
Mr Hill has over the last number of years been in various investigations run by the QBCC.
All his clients, they're all being screwed.
This was meant to be Les Watt's dream home. He was told it would take 6 months to build, but 5 years later, it still looks like a construction site.
It's a simple house. It's quite open, very simple in construction. I designed it that way, but he still didn't do the right thing.
There's no kitchen, laundry or driveway. Walls have been left unpainted, loose wires left hanging, and every time it rains, the garage floods.
The problems don't stop there. What's happened with the doors?
The doors have a sliding track above now and locating pins, but it's been installed upside down and can't open.
Even the simple task of going to bed each night is a challenge.
So Les, what's this ladder here for?
This is for me to get upstairs to my bedroom. It's the only way I can get access to upstairs. There's no spiral staircase here, which is on the drawings.
Having designed the home himself, Les was looking for the perfect builder to bring his plans to life. That's when a financial advisor he'd previously dealt with recommended Adrian Hill.
You be your friend and work things out really good together and all that. So it seemed all right.
A contract for $300,000 was signed and work commenced on the Gold Coast property in November 2014. At the time, Les was working overseas.
So I got Adrian Hill to look after everything while I was away and get all the drawings done to regulations, start work and complete.
When Les returned in May 2015, he expected to be moving into an almost finished home, only to find nothing had been done apart from digging a hole for the laundry and garage. Mr Hill blamed the delay on bad weather.
And all I got was some excuses of delays. And it turned out to be all lies.
Les's unfinished house has so many issues, he says there's no way anyone will insure it and he can't live in it until it's certified by council. He went to Queensland's building watchdog QBCC, hoping they could help him, only to find out he'd left his complaint too late and was no longer covered. Commissioner Brett Bassett.
There are a number of legal time limits for people to tell us information, and if people tell us things outside of those time limits, it actually makes it difficult for the QBCC to provide any assistance.
Despite not even being close to finishing Les's house, Adrian Hill continued to take on more work. His next victim, Glenn Campbell.
Adrian Hill was actually doing the building right next door to me.
The retiree contracted Mr Hill in November 2015 to build 2 duplex homes on land previously owned by his parents on the Gold Coast.
Things were going pretty well for about the first 6 months. Then they started to sour from there.
Work started to slow down, tradies weren't showing up, and all there was to show after an entire year was the basic framework and a roof. And after Adrian asked for an extra $187,000 2 years later with no explanation, Glenn says he'd had enough.
As a result of that, my solicitor gave me a letter, which I signed. And that afternoon I dropped round to Adrian's office and handed him his termination notice.
Following that, Glenn lodged a claim with QBCC. While it took 2 years, he was eventually paid out $200,000 by the watchdog, which now means Glenn can afford to pay new builders to fix the dodgy workmanship of Adrian Hill and complete his 2 homes. And time is ticking.
The pools don't go in soon, quote the engineer, and we have some very, very severe weather. Building over there on my right is likely to slip into the canal.
As for Adrian Hill, the QBCC banned him from the building industry for 3 years after AB Hill Constructions went into liquidation with debts of $4.8 million.
So he was initially banned for a period up until 2021. But on top of that, the QBCC had received a number of complaints in respect of the defective work.
Earlier this year, the band builder had that disqualification extended until September 2022, and he was slapped with a fine of more than $9,000 and 30 demerit points after the regulator found he ignored his initial ban by carrying out building work after his licence was cancelled. He'd even set up an office space at a Broadbeach shopping centre.
Where people like Mr Hill engage in defective building work or other type of work such as unlicensed activity, we need to investigate that thoroughly so that when we take the action it sticks.
We tried to contact Adrian Hill armed with a list of questions from his angry customers, but surprise, surprise, his number's disconnected.
Please check the number before calling again.
How does it make you feel knowing that you've fallen victim to Adrian Hill?
If you've had dealings with Adrian Hill, we would like to hear from you. Send us an email or just give us a call.